This video is an invitation to stop seeking for just one instant. In some lifetimes, there can be a special desire that emerges, which is different from regular desires that we're accustomed to. Our normal desires, like the desire to eat food, for example, serves the purpose of sustaining life, and it's quite natural. However, when the desire for something like food is expected to provide more than just nourishment for the body, such as long-lasting satisfaction or fulfillment, it can become an obsession or even an addiction. Similarly, desires for shelter, relationships, social structures are also natural and necessary for the continuation of the species. However, the desire that is being referred to here as extraordinary is the desire to know truth, to know our true nature. It is a deep longing for genuine fulfillment, contentment, freedom. This desire is the reason why we're here, why you watch these videos, even if we don't fully comprehend it. The extraordinary desire to know truth is often referred to as the existential quest. It is a desire that transcends the material and sensory experiences that we encounter day to day. It is a longing to understand the deeper meaning and purpose of our existence, to discover the essence of who we are, to find true freedom and fulfillment. This desire arises from a sense of inner discontentment and a recognition that the external pursuits and accomplishments of life don't bring lasting satisfaction. It's a calling that comes deep from within, and often it emerges during times of crisis in our lives. This quest for truth can take many forms, such as seeking knowledge through religious practices, meditation, philosophical inquiry. It often involves a deep exploration of one's inner world and a willingness to really confront and transcend one's conditioning. This desire is not ordinary and doesn't manifest within everyone. It is unknown why it arises. It can't be explained by any external factors such as your family history, genetics, social status, geographic location, for example. While the path to truth may be different for everyone, the common thread is the recognition that the answers to life's biggest questions cannot be found in external sources, but must be sought by looking within. However, many people have misconceptions about this desire and how to work with it based on past conditioning and based on what we imagine. Paradoxically, true fulfillment can only be realized if we don't actively try to attain it. This may sound unbelievable, and we're often given lots of things to do in order to understand it. But these actions are designed to wear down our desire for doing. Meditation is one such practice, which many of you have probably tried. But what is the real purpose of meditation? Is it to achieve concentration or be able to be mindful of our senses? No. Meditation is really just a pointer. It shows us that when the mind is still, there is this peace and discontentment. Meditation reveals the resolution of the longing. One teacher that's been helpful to me on my journey is Gangaji. When she met her teacher, she'd been seeking fulfillment and truth through various forms of meditation and spiritual practices, but she still felt an underlying sense of longing and a need to find a way to hold on to true fulfillment. Her teacher, who herself had undergone a profound transformation, extended an invitation to Gangaji which was different from anything she had heard before. The invitation was to simply stop all effort and take one instant to truly stop. Her teacher extended an invitation to just stop. All that's required is this one instant of truly stopping. This didn't mean stopping all physical actions and stopping our thoughts, but rather stopping the mental and emotional effort to find truth. The idea was to let go of all striving and seeking and to simply be present with what is. Gangaji initially resisted this invitation, as it went against everything she had been taught about the need for effort and discipline and spiritual practice. But eventually she realized the power of truly stopping and being present in the moment. Indeed, the fear of stopping can be very powerful. After all, we have invested so much time and energy into our practices and efforts to find truth and fulfillment. And there's a sense of loss that comes with the idea of stopping and letting go of these efforts. We may also feel that what will happen if we stop? We may wonder, who will I be if I'm not a spiritual seeker? Or won't my life just spin out of control if I stop efforting? However, what we fail often to recognize is that the very efforts we are making to find truth are themselves the source of our dissatisfaction. As long as we are striving and seeking, we are reinforcing the belief that the fulfillment is something we need to attain or achieve, rather than something that is already present within us. When we stop, even for just one instant, we allow ourselves to experience the present moment fully and completely, without any striving or effort. We come to see that fulfillment is not something we need to attain or achieve, but rather something that is already present within us. And in that moment of stopping, we can experience true peace and contentment, regardless of our circumstances. It's worth noting that this is not to say that all practices and efforts are useless or unnecessary. Rather, it's about recognizing that true fulfillment can only be found when we stop striving and trying so hard and allow ourselves to simply be, even if only for one instant. From that place of presence, we can engage in practices and efforts that are more in alignment, you could say, with our true nature, rather than coming from the egoic mind of lack and of striving. It can be helpful to realize that sooner or later, everything will be lost, including this lifetime and all its accumulations. The invitation then is to die before you actually physically die. And this can be frightening to the mind. The mind resists this kind of letting go because it feels like it's losing something that has worked so hard to attain and that it relies on for our sense of security and stability. However, if we can be willing to face this fear and allow ourselves to let go, we can experience a sense of freedom and relief that comes from not being attached to anything. This is what is meant by dying before you actually physically die. It is a surrendering of the egoic self. The egoic self simply stops, and our true nature shines forth. In this way, the invitation to stop and die before we die is not meant to be depressing or morbid. Rather, it's an invitation to let go of the illusion of control and the attachments that keep us trapped in a limited sense of self. By doing so, we can experience a deeper sense of peace and fulfillment that is not dependent on achievements or circumstances. When we truly simply stop, there's a moment of fulfillment that goes beyond anything we can envision, anything we can imagine. What we usually think of as truth or fulfillment, such as a lack of pain or more pleasure, is what we often imagine as true contentment. This is not it. True contentment can only be realized through experiencing it directly. We don't have to wait until death to experience this. We can stop whenever we recognize the tricks of the mind that lead to the postponement of stopping. This stopping is an invitation to not wait for more perfect circumstances, but to recognize these thoughts as just activity of the mind and to let them go. The desire to be free is like a call from freedom itself. This desire to awaken, to be enlightened, to know oneself, to know truth, is the call of truth. We often spend our lives ignoring this call and trying to satisfy it with experiences and techniques. But the longing only grows when we stop running away from the longing and allow it to have our attention. It can lead us to contentment. When we drop our excuses and justifications, we can experience this discontentment. Please subscribe to the channel, and I hope you enjoy these videos. If you do, hit the like button. And again, I appreciate your comments and questions. Hope to see you soon. Bye for now.